Have you ever come across an idea so bold it stops you in your tracks? The notion that women play a role in men's suffering, or even want men to suffer, is one that philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer tackled in his writings. It's a provocative claim, rooted in his 19th century perspective, and it stirs up debate even today. Schopenhauer, a German thinker known for his gloomy outlook on life, had strong opinions about relationships, desire, and human nature. In this exploration, we'll dive into what he meant by suggesting women contribute to men's suffering, unpack his philosophy, and see how his ideas hold up in our modern world. We'll keep it clear and balanced, looking at both his views and their limits, so you can decide what to make of them. Let's start with who Schopenhauer was. Born in 1788 and living until 1860, he was a philosopher who believed life is driven by a force he called the will, a blind, endless desire that pushes us to want things we can never fully have. For Schopenhauer, this will lead to suffering because our desires, whether for love, success, or pleasure, never truly satisfy us. His book, The World as Will and Representation, lays out this idea, painting life as a struggle where happiness is fleeting. He was influenced by thinkers like Immanuel Kant and Eastern philosophies like Buddhism, which also see desire as a source of pain. Schopenhauer's take on women and relationships comes from this lens, where love and attraction are just another trap set by the will. So, what did Schopenhauer say about women and men's suffering? In his essay on women, part of his collection Parerga and Paralipomena, he makes some harsh claims. He argues that women are driven by nature to attract men, not for love, but to ensure the survival of the species. He sees romantic love as an illusion, a trick of the will that makes men chase women, only to end up suffering. According to him, women use their charm to pull men into relationships, marriage, and family life, which he views as a burden. Once men are committed, Schopenhauer says, they're stuck working hard, sacrificing their freedom, and facing endless responsibilities, all to serve women's supposed goal of continuing the human race. Schopenhauer goes further, suggesting women are less rational and more manipulative than men. He claims they rely on emotions and cunning to get what they want, making men suffer by tying them to a life of toil. He even says women are naturally suited to be caregivers, not thinkers, and that their beauty is a tool to trap men. These ideas paint a picture where women, knowingly or not, lead men into a cycle of desire and pain. For Schopenhauer, this is part of life's bigger trap. The will uses love to keep humanity going, but at the cost of men's happiness. Let's unpack this. Schopenhauer's view starts with his belief that life itself is suffering. He thought everyone, men and women, suffers because of the will's endless demands. But he singled out romantic relationships as a key source of pain for men. Why? He saw marriage as a kind of prison, where men trade their freedom for fleeting passion. In his time, marriage often meant men took on heavy financial and social duties, while women managed the home. Schopenhauer, who never married, saw this as a raw deal for men, with women as the orchestrators, driven by biology to secure providers. To understand his perspective, we need to look at his world. In the 1800s, women had few rights. They couldn't vote, own property in many places, or work most jobs. Marriage was often their only path to security, so they had to attract men to survive. Schopenhauer took this social reality and spun it into a harsh judgment. Women, he said, are programmed by nature to lure men into this system, making men suffer as they chase love and end up trapped. He wasn't saying women are evil, just that their role in nature's plan causes pain for men. Now, let's dig into the idea that women want men to suffer. Schopenhauer didn't mean women sit around plotting to hurt men. Instead, he saw it as an unconscious process, driven by the will. He thought women's beauty and charm are tools of nature, not personal choices, designed to spark desire in men. Once men fall for it, they're caught in a cycle of longing, commitment, and struggle. For Schopenhauer, this isn't about individual women being cruel. It's about how life itself uses desire to keep us suffering. Women, in his view, are just the medium through which this happens. This brings us to one of Schopenhauer's key ideas. Romantic love is a lie. He argued that what we call love is just the will pushing us to reproduce. When a man falls for a woman, he thinks it's about her unique qualities, but Schopenhauer says it's really about biology wanting the next generation. Once the passion fades, after marriage or kids, the man is left with responsibilities and no lasting joy. This, he says, is how women's role in attraction leads to men's suffering. The thrill of the chase ends in a life of hard work and unfulfilled desires. Let's pause and look at why Schopenhauer's ideas were so extreme. He was a pessimist, convinced that life is mostly pain. His own life shaped this view. He had a tough relationship with his mother, never found lasting love, and lived alone much of his life. These experiences likely colored his thoughts on women. He also wrote in a time when men dominated philosophy, and many thinkers shared his low view of women's abilities. His ideas reflect both his personal struggles and the biases of his era. But does Schopenhauer's claim hold up? Let's explore that by looking at his ideas through a modern lens. Today, we know more about psychology and relationships. Schopenhauer was right that desire can lead to pain. Think of unrequited love or the stress of a bad relationship. But blaming women for this ignores half the picture. Men also chase relationships, and both genders suffer when things go wrong. Modern psychology shows that attraction is complex, driven by biology, culture, and personal choices, not just a one-way trap set by women. Schopenhauer's idea that women use beauty to manipulate men also feels dated. Today, we see beauty standards as a pressure on women, not just a tool they wield. Women face expectations to look a certain way, often at great personal cost. Schopenhauer didn't consider how women suffer under these demands, focusing only on men's struggles. This one-sided view weakens his argument, as it ignores the shared human experience of navigating love and desire. Another flaw is his view of marriage as a trap. In his time, marriage was often unequal, with men bearing financial burdens and women losing independence. But today, relationships are more varied. Many couples share responsibilities, and women have careers and choices Schopenhauer couldn't imagine. Marriage can still be hard, but it's not the prison he described. His claim that women drive men into suffering through marriage oversimplifies things. Relationships involve mutual choices, and both partners can face challenges. Let's talk about the idea that women are less rational. Schopenhauer's claim reflects old stereotypes, not facts. Modern science shows men and women have similar cognitive abilities, with differences shaped more by culture than biology. His view that women rely on manipulation ignores how both genders use strategies to navigate relationships. For example, men might use humor or status to attract partners, just as women might use charm. This is human nature, not a gendered plot to cause suffering. Still, Schopenhauer's ideas resonate with some people today, especially those who feel burned by relationships. His philosophy speaks to the pain of chasing love and not finding lasting happiness. In online spaces, some groups echo his views, arguing that women hold too much power in modern dating, leaving men to suffer. These ideas often stem from frustration, not evidence, but they show how Schopenhauer's pessimism still strikes a chord. His focus on desire as a source of pain feels timeless, even if his take on women is narrow. Let's balance this out. Schopenhauer saw life as suffering, but he also offered ways to escape it. He believed art, music, and philosophy could lift us above the will's demands, giving us moments of peace. He also valued compassion, urging us to see others' suffering as our own. This seems at odds with his harsh view of women, but it shows he wasn't just about gloom. If he were alive today, he might rethink his ideas, seeing how men and women both struggle with desire and relationships. What can we learn from Schopenhauer? His core point, that desire leads to suffering, is worth thinking about. When we chase love too hard, we can lose ourselves, whether we're men or women. Setting boundaries, knowing your worth, and not tying your happiness to someone else can reduce that pain. But blaming women for men's suffering misses the mark. Relationships are a two-way street, and both sides face risks and rewards.